Hey guys, I just watched The Hobbit and decided that I was going to scrap my 4 or 5 other ideas for a video tonight and talk about this for a second. I'm not actually going to talk about The Hobbit, but it brings up an interesting point. It's this idea of adventure. You know, it's growing up with all my heroes being action stars and, you know, noble warriors, He-Man and Lion-O and, you know, Thor the Beastmaster and and Chuck Norris and Van Damme and Bruce Lee, all these guys going on these amazing missions. I was kind of waiting for my mission, you know, and I keep going back to this, but you know, I never joined the military, I never joined the police. That wasn't the right path for me. I did entertain those ideas when I was younger, but that wasn't the right path for me. As a martial artist, I saw my journey being somewhat different, a more personal, private journey. But it makes me not question my decision, but it still makes me step back and wonder, why am I not going out for adventure, you know? And then I realized, but I have. And, you know, I just don't have these grand stories, but how many of you who play in the martial arts have endeavored to go fight in a cage in front of a few thousand people? It's an adventure. It's not normal. It's not ordinary. It's becoming more normal than ordinary, but currently it's really not. On a whim, within 2 months, my wife and I decided to pack up and move to Arizona. We sold off what we could. We conned her mother into storing half of our shit, and we moved down here on a couple of $1,000s. And it's been an adventure, and it's been a pretty rocky adventure, but it's been an adventure, and honestly, I love where I live. It's great. You know, in exploring different culture, exploring different climate, different flora and fauna, it's very interesting. Not too long ago, I went to the Grand Canyon for the first time. That was a fucking adventure. I mean, you know, it's the Grand Canyon. I always had this opinion, it's just a hole in the ground, whatever. Yeah, it's a pretty damn impressive hole. You know, so look for your adventure. And, you know, if you're really not, I mean, if you're just the homebody, that's fine. I mean, you know, if you feel fulfilled that way, that's fine. I'm not going to be the one to tell you that's wrong, but I would urge you to take a step outside of that lens and look at what the world has to offer. We get one life, and the world and the many cultures and languages and foods and experiences available are far beyond what any one single lifetime could hold. And who cares if you're not the first to climb this or the first to create that? It's new to you. It's the first time you've done it. I mean, in 50 years, in 100 years, will anybody remember your name? And I don't mean this in a mean way. Who cares? Is your life worthy of you? Who cares if it's worthy of somebody else? You don't have to have your adventure live up to, say, Christopher Lee. The man is amazing, absolutely amazing. Speaks multiple languages, was a secret agent. He's in his 90s now, I believe. Has recorded a metal album, is working on another one. The guy is a certifiable badass. I mean, never mind the fact he's an actor in some of the most successful movies of all time. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's an amazing adventure he's lived, or multiple adventures that he's had. But you don't have to live up to that. You're not in a race against him. But maybe you want to learn a language. You know, maybe the secret agent, you know, work is not for you. Maybe you don't need to be a Nazi hunter, but maybe Maybe you're a concert goer. Have you ever thought of following a tour? It's kind of a cool adventure. Have you ever thought of competing in a big name sport, televised, in front of thousands of people, not just in front of your hometown? That's an adventure. Have you ever decided to just go somewhere and go hiking and camping? That's an adventure. You know, it's cool to dream of dragons and dwarves and magic and swords and sorcery and all that. That's fun, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm such a nerd. But real life is right here, and it's waiting for us to explore it. You know, Indiana Jones is one of my heroes. I've got his theme song on my phone, because I don't have an MP3 player, so I use my phone. Anyway, that was sad. But the Indiana Jones theme song is something that plays quite frequently, because it just reminds me to have an adventure and feel adventurous and feel heroic, because this is my life and I live it how I choose. And I urge you to do the same. Whether you're a martial artist, a weightlifter, a military guy, a painter, a writer like my wife is, whatever. It doesn't matter what you choose. Are you good with a camera? Go have a photography adventure. Do you love dogs? Step up and volunteer at the shelter. You get to meet all sorts of dogs and learn all sorts of cool things about them. Why not? But make your life an adventure. Make it your adventure. It doesn't matter. You don't have to stand in front of a camera like I'm doing. It's fun. I like to do this. It helps me stay accountable to myself too, because by putting myself out there for you guys to see, it reminds me to stay on top of my game, because you guys get to see if I start falling down. But you don't have to do that. You can step out, step off out of the lens, off of the camera, off the stage rather, but it doesn't mean you just quit and go home. You don't have to put on a show, but still, make it an adventure. Have fun with life. It's the only one you get, it's the only one you're going to live, and quite frankly, it's too interesting to be so boring, to be lived from a couch. That's all I got for you. I've got to finish this cup of coffee and go grab a workout before bedtime, so good journey.